welcome to the Thrive Movement Community Guides interview series. Thank you for joining in as I introduce you to trailblazers in their fields to assist you on your journey to thrive and not just survive. These inspiring change agents provide varied perspectives and gifts from their own experiences to assist others to thrive in their lives. I'm Beth Myers. I'm a Law of Attraction Empowerment Coach, mentor, and speaker. And this month's Thrive Movement interview series is based on thriving in your health and your well-being. So I am thrilled to introduce to you today my friend, Nori Love. She is a fellow coach, and her mission is to increase well-being on all levels for I am. She is a certified hypnotherapist, a transformational life coach. She is a healing artist, Reiki Master, and a registered nurse. So welcome, Nori.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Aw, that was really, I felt that.
Aw, I'm so glad. And I am just so glad to be in your energy today and being with you to introduce you to my community and your community and others beyond, to create that ripple of being connected with people all over the world, to get to know different modalities that can help to really raise the vibration within ourselves to help us thrive and meeting people who help do that. And you're one of those people, Nori.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I wanted to start with asking you a couple questions so that people can get to know you a little bit. And the first thing I would like for you to share is, how did you get started on your path to assisting others to really tap into better health and wellness for themselves?
Well, I think the biggest thing that influenced me was my heart. Because if I'm not doing what's in my heart, then I'm not happy. So it was actually kind of easy once I figured it out. But I love working with people to help them connect deeper, because in that connection, they're influenced by their heart. And in that space is the possibility and the power for them to enhance their well-being, their life, their health, their wealth, even change their life. So what started me on my path was that I was called, my heart led the way. That's probably the best way for me to say it.
Yeah, well, I just felt all that you were just sharing right from your heart, because you're really saying it's an inside job, right?
It is an inside job. It is an inside job. And, it showed up early. I mean, animals and children and even adults would come to me when I was a child. And I had a certain awareness that this isn't really normal. Other people aren't doing this. So I knew that I always kind of knew that there was something I'm supposed to be doing. So, yeah.
Well, how did that lead you to some of the things that you currently are doing? I shared a little bit about some of your expertise and talents and the way that you help others in this world. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, being a Reiki Master and probably a nurse came naturally as well. Actually, the gift of healing was made known to me when I was little. Like I mentioned, animals would show up. People would want to be in my presence at certain times. And I noticed that there was a transformation that happened when, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like a prayer, but it's like something that's given to me. So I was a reluctant healer until situations kept happening, in public places, even with my mother present. My mother was this little New York drill sergeant, who was very pragmatic, and she watched a healing thing happen. And I was like, okay, what do you make of that? And she said, well, Nora, in her New York accent, God works in mysterious ways. And that kind of began to give me permission to explore it. But I was, I'm a little bit of a rebel and I need proof. So I became a nurse, which I love, love, love. And I went to the critical care units, the burn and the trauma ICU, where the people were the most broken and the energy was the most chaotic because of all the electrical interference. And I said, okay, if you show me that I'm a healer in this setting, then I'll believe it. And of course, it happened. So Reiki felt like the most fitting framework for me. It just resonated with me. It's very well received now. It's being used in emergency rooms even, and in hospices in the hospitals. So that kind of helped me to bridge the mystical or the metaphysical with mainstream.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how that happened.
Can you explain for people who aren't really familiar with Reiki what that means? Maybe they've heard it, but maybe they don't really truly understand it, and how that interfaces in the medical community right now?
Absolutely. So Reiki is healing. It's universal energy, and it began in Japan a long time ago, and it's a modality where you open, you kind of move yourself out of the way, or you have a mentor, a teacher, a master help you to get into that vibrational balance, if you will. I didn't want to get too woo-woo, but you just move yourself out of the way so that you are a vessel, if you will, for the energy to come through you. And technically, it works on the electromagnetic field. And those are things that we measure in the medical field. We measure heart rate and we measure brain waves. And so it's beginning to come together and not look so woo-woo, but that's probably the best way I can say it. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. I think that helps for people who just aren't familiar with Reiki, how that it's really about energy, because we're all energy. Each one of us and everything in our universe is energy.
Exactly.
And so it's being able to help other people tap into their own energy for their own healing, really.
Well, right. And sometimes, like in the case of being in the ICU, the patients were so broken, or they were in a induced coma, that I would essentially hold the space for them because they couldn't hold it for themselves, and in order for healing to take place.
Oh, what a gift you gave each one of those people and their families.
Well,
by being able to be aware of that and tap into that to assist them.
Aw, thank you. It's amazing. It really is. I'm so blessed, really.
You are, and everyone who is in contact with you, and even beyond, because Reiki does not have to be done in person, correct?
That's right. That's exactly right. And it can be done long distance. And actually, one of my dearest friends, who I'm still celebrating her life, she transcended. She was a Reiki master, and she used to write my name on a sticky note and just put it on her desk. And she had, carte blanche. She could send me Reiki anytime. And all of a sudden, I'd go, "Whoa, that was Lynn." I could feel that she was applying the Reiki principles to me, and that healing was happening. So it was amazing. Yes, so it does happen long distance.
Yes. Well, and it's being able to have that permission for that
Absolutely.
to come their way, being asked for permission. And I remember when my dad was very ill, and in preparing for his transition, a friend was sending Reiki healing to him all along, and I believe that it helped extend his life longer.
Aw,
with being
yes.
able to move through what was occurring in his body,
Yes.
and then helping him transition peacefully out
Ah,
into
I
the
have
world.
chills.
Yeah, and that was just a beautiful gift that she gave us as a family, gave him, and connecting in a whole different level that just helped me to realize how much is possible. Um,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
power of Reiki.
Absolutely. And yeah, there would be a whole show if we talked about Reiki and, you
Yes.
know, and transcending in the hospice, but it's amazing for that. It really is. I mean,
Imagine.
yeah, I mean, it's not just for healing. I mean, if you can consider leaving this physical vessel in order to heal,
Yes.
then it's still healing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is. So
Aw.
thank you for sharing that piece and how that has interacted with your work as a hospice worker. Would that be the correct word? Hospice
I'm a hospice nurse.
nurse. Yes. Okay.
It's amazing because people, when they're getting ready to transcend, they have these incredible moments of clarity where they're so connected with God or source or whatever you want to call it. And lately, it's like they know me. They feel that energy, and it's such a match to where they are that they're like, well, she knows me. She knows my name is Betty Lou. And I'm like, yeah, of course I do.
Right.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Ah. Wow, you could probably write a whole book about some of the
Yes.
experiences that you've had. And I've talked with other um, hospice nurses and people who work within hospice. And just the gift that you give patients and their families is another just beautiful sharing. And thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Well, Nora, you're also a certified hypnotherapist. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about um, what what you do with your work there and some of the things that you help people with.
Oh, I love hypnotherapy. And interestingly, you know, before I declared myself, when I was like in the closet healer, I would lead people on, I called it guided imagery. And that was like a safe word because nurses can really do that. Um, but I would lead people on a guided imagery, not realizing that I was really beginning to explore hypnosis. And I don't even remember when I did study it when I was younger, but I do remember having a root canal and not having any anesthesia. Now, could I do that again? I don't know. I mean, I was like really, really, you know, well practiced and, you know, passionate about that. Um, but I use it to help people with anything that they feel might be hindering them or holding them back or blocking them or preventing them from being everything that they want to be.
Mhm.
Um, it's really great for pre-performance, like if you're going to do a bodybuilding contest or a fitness contest or speaking, you know, it's really great to go in and have your subconscious give you the signs and the symbols and the insight into the way that it's going to go. And it always turns out amazing. But recently, my path has been opening to where people who have situations around the body and medicine are coming to me. You know, people who have had experiences while under anesthesia, um, that they can't come up with any other reason why they're still having pain. And a classic study is a woman that happened to. She misunderstood something the doctor said.
Mhm.
And as soon as they brought her back in hypnosis and she went back to that, she had no more pain. So it's just amazing what we store. Just amazing.
It is. And, you know, it's interesting that you brought that up because I just remembered when I had a surgery, um, back in 2000 and maybe something like that. It was my first time really going under anesthesia. And I was bound and determined that I was not going to hear what people were talking about when I was getting my surgery.
That was good.
I had read a book and listened. I had a little tape player, and I said, when you do the surgery, can you please put my earphones on,
Yes.
allow me to listen to this tape so that I am only taking in that I am healthy and well. And I guess that was a form of hypnosis in a sense, of
Absolutely.
tapping into my subconscious.
I love that.
And I healed beautifully. I mean, we went on a cruise at the end of, my 6 weeks or whatever the time period was. And I was the most healthy that I have ever been. And an interesting thing is I had done some healing work before that on the tumor that I had in my body. And the nurse or the doctor said, it was a really odd shaped tumor and I can't get over it. But when we got in there and took it out, it was benign.
Amazing.
And I just feel like it was a lot of what I was doing with some of the body work that I was doing, as well as listening and only putting in my mind things that were positive, that nothing got misunderstood, because I had read that same story that you were referring to, and maybe it's a different one. Maybe that was a personal experience you had, but I remember reading that somewhere and was like, I am going to be more in control of this.
And you know those little forms that you sign before you go into surgery, and they ask you like what your beliefs are? I always write, please don't let anybody say anything except good things while in my presence while I'm under anesthesia.
Yeah.
Serious. Absolutely.
Well, because our mind starts to interpret some of those things as truth, or that's the reality.
Yes. And people who have been brought through hypnosis, I apologize, the leaf blower is here.
Oh, that's okay. I have construction going on outside of my house. So, we just go with the flow. And
people who have had surgery and they've been taken through hypnosis have been known to be able to recount verbatim what happened in the operating room.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And for people that aren't as familiar with hypnosis, and think of it as some kind of way to control the mind or that kind of thing, what could you share with them that helps to understand a little bit more about what happens during hypnosis?
I love that you asked that question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The person is always in control. It's never, with an ethical person, it's never anybody trying to take over your mind. You go into a state of relaxation. Hypnosis is just a state of relaxation. And it's kind of like the same brain waves when you're meditating, or like when you're driving a long distance and you kind of zone out and then you go, oh, how did I get here?
Right.
Or even you do that during watching TV. So it's that kind of space. Now there is a deeper hypnosis where you kind of go into like a sleep brainwave, but that's normally something for very special situations, that you're going to work on something deeper. Yeah. So no, nobody takes over your mind. Nobody takes over your body. You can wake up at any time. You just are opening up to, you're quieting the chattery part of your brain to open up to the deeper mind, the subconscious mind, where all of the answers really reside.
Yeah. Well, and I have had the pleasure of doing a hypnotherapy session with you, and I just felt so blessed to be able to have that experience with you. And I felt just that opening. I was so relaxed, and it seemed like the connections were just coming with what my intention was that I had set for the session and what I wanted to work on. And it was just such a loving and peaceful space to be in and beyond, and seeing some of the shifts and changes that occurred from just that one session that we experienced. And I don't know, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, one of the first sessions that I had before I became a hypnotherapist was around grief, because I was just really suffering from the loss of my 14-year relationship with my dog. And Jason Richardson did that for me. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to know that there's different people and supports out there that can assist us, especially when there's something that's challenging that's going on, or we want to try and figure something out, so that we don't continue the same pattern, maybe that we've been experiencing, or to become aware of something that maybe we're not even really aware of in this conscious level, that it's in that subconscious where a pattern continues.
That's really, really, really good. And that's why it's so helpful with quitting smoking, weight loss. There are people, and I was obese, that there were things that I would continue to do that were very habitual, that I didn't have any other experience to compare it to. So I didn't know, and that's where hypnosis can help you. And it's so amazing to me every single time, because the subconscious mind doesn't go, you're eating after 7 o'clock. It gives you these amazing visions and pictures and symbols and, these amazing ahas in the most loving and peaceful way. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, awesome. Well, what are some of the things that you have coming up that you are wanting to focus on and help people in their health and well-being more? Some special projects you have going on, or things that you like to share with others?
Thank you. So I've got the body transformation pre-party coming. It's all over my Facebook page, so people are welcome to email me and receive an invitation to that. And that's going to be 12 weeks of body transformation. So whether you want to shift a pattern around food or exercise or anything to do with your body, shift a pattern of thinking around your health, it's going to be very, very inclusive that way. So it's going to be amazing. I mean,
it sounds amazing. And just your background in healthcare, and also with the transformational strategies that you use, with that more metaphysical piece with the Reiki and the hypnotherapy, I'm sure it will be very power packed. I can't wait for your pre-party.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
The funny thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The funny thing about that is, it may seem like kind of superficial, because it's the body transformation party, and it's weight loss, but it's really, really not, because any experience that we have in our body, like you had that tumor, I know that everything that you did around that was a call to you to learn how to do body work and learn all those things that you did, and you applied them. And so anything that causes us pain, whether it's from being bullied because we're overweight or we're too skinny, or so it seems like it's superficial, but that pain and that experience is the call of, it's really a deeper call of your soul or your wisdom or your heart to, hey, look at this. And when you work on this, there's going to be all kinds of other stuff that opens you up. So it's very much energetic and spiritual, not just adipose tissues, or cells. Yeah, it's a lot more than what meets the eye. How about that?
Awesome. Well, it sounds just yummy as far as kinds of things that you will be including in this program. And how can people get in touch with you if that's something that sounds of interest to them and they'd like to find out more?
That's great. So the pre-party is going to be the event where everything is explained, all the festivities and the menu and things that you'll be able to choose from. And that to receive that invitation, you can add me in the subject line, coaching with love, the number 4, the letter U, @gmail.com.
Awesome. And I will also put that at the end of our video to give that information so that people can reach out to you so that they get alerted to when that information is being released and when your start date is and such.
Thank you.
Yeah, fabulous. Well, you also do something with jewelry, I believe. Is that right, Nori? You're quite talented in all of your different areas, because I know one of the things you are is an artist, right?
And that's where the healing artist came in. Because even my jewelry is healing. And my jewelry was, if you would have told me 4 years ago that I would make jewelry, I would have told you that you were crazy. But I had a shoulder surgery that didn't turn out well, and I was down for more than a year, and all of a sudden I became inspired to make jewelry. So my bracelets are bracelets that are spiritual and intentional, and they're in a certain pattern because they're the I am intention bracelet. So you can use it as an energy tool. You know, that Abraham Hicks says that if we focus our energy for 17 seconds, we begin the manifestation process. Well, if you start in the beginning of the bracelet and you make your I am intention statements, and then you throw in a gratitude, 3 I am intention statements of gratitude. By the time you get to the end, it's going to be way more than 17 seconds. So you've shifted your energy.
Wow.
So I know believe me, this was gifted to me because I don't know that I came up with it. And so they come with a ton of I am statements and gratitude statements so that you can pick whatever situation you're going through. Like you have a coworker that's making you crazy. You can pick one on peace, and run into the ladies' room and do a quick round on your I am intention bracelet. They come out and like, hey, what's up, everybody?
It's shifting that energy and that vibration, because that's the one and only thing that we have control of in our life. Is what energy we decide that we're going to tap into and put out there. And we can't change the other person.
Right.
We can change what we're putting in our energy. And for people who aren't familiar with what I am statements, can you share what an I am statement is?
Sure. An I am statement is an affirmative statement. It's an affirmation. Joel Osteen uses them, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay was probably the pioneer that taught me. But you could, let's use forgiveness. Well, no, let's use body since it's health and well-being. So, okay, really easy. I am dynamic health and happiness. I am dynamic health and happiness. I am dynamic health and happiness. Thank you for this health and happiness that I am. And I mean, you can't not shift saying those things.
Oh, right. You when you're saying those words and you repeat that round,
right,
from that bracelet, definitely. Yeah.
Right. And you can use it for, like I said, for forgiveness, for grief, for healing, for changes, people who are going through changes, right? They're trying to quit smoking, or they're in a 12-step program. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty expansive. I can't take credit for it. It was truly gifted to me.
You're a fabulous receiver of that information, and then putting it into something that then can help other people is just another gift that you share with the world, Nori.
Thanks, Beth. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So can people also email you at that same address if that's something that they're interested in, or is there a particular website that they go to check out some of your jewelry?
Yeah. So right now, you can see my bracelets on the Everything Conscious Facebook page. The website is not up at this moment because as I've been doing a lot of other things, the store was just a little much for me to keep up. So the bracelets are there, and they can email me at everythingconscious@gmail.com or message me there. And it's funny because when I make them, they're very inspired. I mean, and sometimes it's like, okay, let's say the angels are helping me make them. Sometimes they're so pushy. They're like, no, no, that's supposed to be pink. Okay, all right, I'll put a pink bead here. Okay. So they're very deliberate. And then when people discover their bracelet, I go, okay, that was made for them. Because when people see a certain bracelet, they're like, I have to have it. And it's almost like it's inspired for them. It's really interesting to watch this unfold.
You're the conduit for bringing that forth into a physical manifestation here.
So I'll tell you really quick the story about this bracelet. This was one of my favorite bracelets, one of the first ones that I made, and it's hematite and crystal cubes. And I met a hospice patient that I was working with who made jewelry. I mean, she like went to the Arizona, shows. I mean, seriously made jewelry. And I had, of course, an armful of bracelets on. And I said to her, go ahead and pick a bracelet. And she's like, no. I'm like, please, please pick a bracelet. So she picked this bracelet. And she wore it the whole time she was in hospice, and she wore it when she transcended. And her family sent it back to me with a most incredible letter. Yeah. So this one is and it was funny because when she picked this one, she was so little, and this is a big bracelet. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be too much for her. And it was one of my favorites too. So I was like, oh, gosh, took that. It's so special to me now. So very, very special.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I've got tears in my eyes. Story. That just was very touching.
Amazing.
To hear that. And just what beautiful gifts of touching people's lives, their hearts, their energy. And I so appreciate the work that you do in this world, Nori, and I'm so thrilled to be connected with you.
Thank you. I'm so honored. Oh, I feel that.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience before we finish the interview today that we didn't touch on, that you want to share?
Well, I do many things. I've had a lot of life experiences. I might have credit for next life, like with my life experiences. But I think the most important thing that I could say is that my unique gift that I bring is my ability to almost see people at the soul level, because at the soul level, they're whole and complete and they're perfect and they're successful and they're healed and they're dynamic and they're in love. That's how I see people. And people kind of suspect that that's in there, but I see that and I reflect back that they really are all that. So I think that's probably the most important thing I would like to communicate.
And that is, I feel that in your presence, and I know others feel that as well, as that you bring out that greatness in each of us. And that's a passion of mine too, is helping hold that space and holding that vision of what somebody, that greatness that they are. And you're very connected on that soul level of knowing that and seeing that. And that's just such a beautiful, beautiful gift. So I appreciate you sharing that with everyone and sharing your time and your energy.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
It was my pleasure.
And I'd like to thank all of you that are watching today for being a part of the Thrive Movement Community Guides interview series, to meet trailblazers such as Nori, that is helping people on their journey to thrive and not just survive. And until next time, when we gather for the next Thrive Movement Community Guides interview series, be true and be you. Take care.